Yo, what is good, Jets Nation? This is Richie from Jets Media, and in this video, I just want to talk about some optimistic things we can take away from yesterday's game against the Buffalo Bills. And, talk about basically the rookies, because the rookies are kind of the only thing that we can hold on to about this Jets team that can give us any reason to watch the rest of the season. So I'm going to be bringing you guys what my thoughts are of the current state of the New York Jets and just dive into each individual performance from the rookies and exactly what I just said previously, what the Jets fans should be looking out for in the remainder 9 games of this season. So let's jump right into it. Okay, we got to see rookie debut of Denzel Mims yesterday. So I'm going to start off with him. In the first half, he looked good. He had 4 receptions and 42 yards, which was his full game stats because he did not get the ball in the second half due to a lot of reasons I'll get into later in the video. But Denzel Mims looked like a guy that is going to be part of this future. Not only did he reel in 4 catches, and he had 1 catch that was like a high point, beautiful over Tre'Davious White, looked like a number 1 receiver with the long arms and a big frame. That was a great catch. But he also is really good in the running game blocking. Not every receiver does focus on running blocking at all. Denzel Mims in college, he was known to be a blocking wide receiver, and that's a really underrated part of Denzel Mims' game. If you guys go watch Michael Piron's touchdown, you see Denzel Mims push Tre'Davious White into the back of the end zone. He's completely out of the play, which creates a hole for Michael Piron to get in the end zone. Without that block, Michael Piron's not in the end zone. So Denzel Mims deserves a lot of credit there. Denzel Mims also looks like a guy that could develop into a future wide receiver 1. I don't want to get too ahead of myself because we saw 1 game, but he has every single tool, physical tool, mental tool to be able to be successful in this league. The only thing that's holding him back is probably his injury concern, just because, as we know, he had battled 2 hamstring injuries. So if he can get durable and if he can play the rest of the season, 9 games, and he can develop and he can be a future star on this Jets offense, which I think he can. Look at all these rookie wide receivers around the league. Chase Claypool, Brandon Ayuk, CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy, all these guys, Justin Jefferson. I think Denzel Mims is in the same category as these rookie receivers from this class. And we did not get to see him all year, obviously due to injuries. But I do think that Denzel Mims is eventually going to get better and more comfortable in the system, more comfortable in the NFL, more comfortable with the whole NFL speed of things, and he's going to start playing really well down the line. That's if, the offense plays better. We need every single form of the offense to be clicking at the same time. We need the protection, we need the quarterback play, we need the offensive play calling to be playing well in order for Denzel Mims to get his high volume targets and for him to go make plays. But he definitely impressed me in his rookie debut, and I am so excited to see Denzel Mims. This is definitely one of those guys that I was looking forward to the most going into 2020, and it took a long time in order to see Denzel Mims debut. So let me know, what do you guys think of Denzel Mims? Do you guys think that he has potential to be a future part of this offense? Because obviously in the offseason, Joe Douglas is going to be tackling the wide receiver position through the draft and free agency. And I think Denzel Mims is a huge part of we need to build around him. He's going to be a starting perimeter wide receiver for this Jets team for the future. So we're going to need another perimeter guy. If we move on from Jameson Crowder, we might need to find another slot receiver. I think Braxton Berrios could step in there for the long term as well. And we need depth. So I love Denzel Mims. I can go on and on about his debut. Obviously, it wasn't the most spectacular debut. He didn't go out there and score touchdowns and go for 100 yards, but he did the dirty work. There was one play where I feel like he could have gotten the end zone where they were in the red zone and he was open in the flat. Sam Darnold did not see him, and Darnold threw the ball a little too late, and that would have been Denzel Mims' first touchdown, but unfortunately Sam didn't see him. So I'm really excited to see what Denzel can do for the remainder of the year. I think that what Jets fans need to focus on for the rest of the year, obviously we're 0-7, so there's not a lot we can hold on to, but I'm really intrigued to see Joe Douglas' draft class because he is our only hope in order to build this team the right way. And what this Jets team needs to do is build through the draft, and we have been missing on drafts in this past decade, even goes beyond that. And that's the big reason why the Jets are so bad right now is Mike Maccagnan, John Idzik, they just did not draft well. And so far, Joe Douglas' draft, we have not seen at full strength because of the injury concerns. If they can all get healthy by the end of the year, here's 9 rookies that I think that will be eventually starting. And it's a long list. Mekhi Becton, Denzel Mims, Ashton Davis, Jabari Zuniga is going to come off IR eventually. Cornerback Bryce Hall is going to be playing in a couple weeks. Cameron Clark, offensive lineman who is finally off the IR, who could be potentially starting at that offensive line, so we can see what he's up to. Braden Mann, punter, we see what he's doing. He shows a lot of potential as a punter. Bryce Huff, undrafted rookie. He looks really good for an undrafted edge rusher. I think that he has a lot of potential to make a big staple in the NFL and be proven to be provide depth at that position, because we know how detrimental that edge rush position is for the Jets, and I think that he has a lot of potential. Oh, La'Mical Pirine. How can I forget about La'Mical Pirine? So all these guys I just mentioned, all the rookies, I think all 9 of them has potential to start and get a lot of playing time, and we can see these 9 guys potentially have a really big role in 2021, because that's what we want to do. We want to build from the draft and sustain a culture of young guys that Joe Douglas drafted. So I went over Denzel Mims. Let's go over La'Mical Pirine next. So he finally had a breakout game. Obviously, all this offensive stuff from yesterday came in the first half because the Jets offense only accumulated 4 yards of offense in the second half due to many reasons, due to Sean McDermott's defense adjusting, and the Dowell Loggins ran offense did not adjust, and it just fell apart. But La'Mical Pirine in that first half, I love what they did with him. I love how they gave him tosses on the outside with Mekhi Becton running in front of him, picking up first downs. That touchdown he had, he was an outside toss to the right side, and he is agile enough to stay in bounds and dive for that pylon and get that touchdown. And La'Mical Pirine looks like a feature back that's going to be, in the future of the NFL, you need multiple running backs. And I think that he is a guy that can be a number 1 or number 2 running back in the future. So if we go into the offseason and we draft another guy to pair him up with Pirine, I'm okay with that. Someone like Harris from Alabama. What I'm trying to say is, if we can draft another running back in the draft next year and pair him up with La'Mical Pirine, we have 2 solid young running backs. And I'm excited to see what Pirine can do for the remainder of the year. I think that he has a lot of potential, and I like that they're getting him involved more. This was the first game we really saw him split carries with Frank Gore. Frank Gore definitely got his share of carries, but Pirine got the ball a lot, so I couldn't really complain, and he definitely did the best for it. He had a nice first down run, and he had a touchdown. So hopefully we can see him get the ball more and this offense doesn't stale out, because that second half offense was so bad. I feel like if that first half offense was replicated in the second half, Denzel Mims would have had a way better game. La'Mical Pirine would have had a better game. But obviously we know what happened. The offense just fell apart. Everything just was going downhill after that Sam Darnold interception. So La'Mical Pirine, Denzel Mims stock is rising. And then the next rookie let's talk about is Mekhi Becton. So he comes back from a shoulder injury. This was definitely not his best game, but at the same time, he played well. There were some times where he got beat and he got penalized. That's going to happen as a rookie, but I honestly don't look at that as a really concerning situation, because you see the talent. I mean, what other team gets dedicated a complete highlight reel in the middle of the game? CBS said, look at this guy, Mekhi Becton. They had a whole segment of 15, 20 seconds of Mekhi Becton highlights in the middle of that game of him pushing people out of bounds, pancaking people, opening holes, protecting Darnold. I mean, it is awesome to see that we have a guy in Mekhi Becton who looks like he's our franchise stud left tackle, because this offensive line is really bad. And we are so lucky. We cannot take for granted how well Mekhi Becton's playing, because that left tackle position is the most important position on that offensive line. It's a premium spot, and we're going to be paying Mekhi Becton on a rookie deal for the next couple of years. So we are really lucky that Joe Douglas landed that pick, because that was a boom or bust, and it looks like that the boom is hitting with Mekhi Becton, and I can go on and on about him. Another rookie that's playing well, who I mentioned earlier, is Bryce Huff. He is a guy that's undrafted, and it's coming in to look like he should have been drafted. I feel like if there was a redraft, he definitely would be going in the late rounds, because he looks like a guy that is dominating in the run game. He's getting to the quarterback. He did not have a sack. He has 1 sack of his career, which is good for an undrafted rookie. He sacked Ryan Fitzpatrick a couple weeks ago, but you saw that play on that reverse. He is so explosive off that edge, wrapped him up, and it was like a negative 11-yard play, and Bryce Huff's all over the field. So Joe Douglas's eye for talent is there, and I'm so excited to see what he can do, because the Jets have draft capital. The Jets are going to be drafting twice in the first round the next 2 years. That's 4 first-round picks. So for Joe Douglas to have this draft capital, it just gets me so excited. So some players that let me get into another guy who actually played decently. Rookie Ashton Davis, he actually came in. I think he had 4 total tackles, and I think he's going to get more playing time throughout the year, because he is a guy that could be our future safety. I like what I saw from him. He was having tight coverage. He was laying big hits, And he didn't have the best game, wasn't flashy, he didn't plug up the stat sheet, but for a rookie safety to come in, he played decent. So some players that I'm looking forward to come back from injury, like I mentioned, Cameron Clark, Bryce Hall, Jabari Zuniga, those are guys we haven't seen yet, and those 3 guys could be really good players for the future. And I'm not expecting them to come in and dominate right away. The one player who I'm most excited about out of all 3 of those is definitely Bryce Hall, because the cornerback position is up for grabs. Pierre Desir is not playing consistent football. Bless Austin's not playing consistent football. Even though I like Bless Austin in the, to keep developing, I like Bless Austin. I'm not giving up on him yet. But maybe if they bench Pierre Desir and we get Bryce Hall healthy, we can have Bryce Hall and Bless Austin as our starting cornerbacks at the end of the year. That's exciting to watch, because Bryce Hall, as we know, he was a first round, second, third round talent coming out of college, but he unfortunately suffered a really brutal injury in the middle of the year last year at Virginia, which made him fall to the 5th round. So Joe Douglas took Bryce Hall knowing that he's not going to be playing for the first half. He's a long-term project because he's not healthy, and he finally got elevated to be eligible to practice. So we're going to see him in a couple weeks. So that's a guy to look out for. Jabari Zuniga, he's still battling that quad injury, so we have not seen him yet. I don't know that much about him. I'm just going off of his tape in Florida, but who knows? He can come in at the defensive line position. We need as much depth there. Maybe he can play well. And then Cameron Clark, we know how terrible this offensive line is besides Mekhi Becton. George Fant definitely looks like a guy that could be in the future, but he didn't play well yesterday. I cannot sugarcoat it. George Fant played overall really good. He's definitely our second best offensive lineman behind Mekhi Becton. Connor McGovern looks really bad. Greg Van Roten is way too inconsistent. And Josh Andrews at left guard was terrible. So I'm excited. Maybe Cameron Clark could come in and fill in at that guard position next to Mekhi Becton. What I'm trying to say in this video is there's a lot of rookies that I feel like is going to get a lot of playing time that's going to give Jets fans some hope to watch these games, give us some motivation, because obviously we're not going to win games. We're very likely to go 0-16, and it's hard to watch these games. But maybe if we keep our eyes on the future and say, you know what, let's see what Joe Douglas's rookie class can do. Are these guys, maybe out of 9 of them, 5 of them can be core players? That's a win. You know what I mean? Like if Joe Douglas hits on this draft, because this 2020 draft class has a ton of potential to show up and be core for this team. Because picture this, 2 or 3 years down the road, say we're in 2023, the 2020 draft class had 3 years in the NFL, and all of them entering their 3rd year if Mekhi Becton is a stud, if Denzel Mims proves to be a really good wide receiver, if Ashton Davis is our starting safety, if Bryce Hall develops into our starting cornerback. There's a lot of guys that can be potentially core players for this team, and this is not me being delusional and bringing you guys fake optimistic views. This is really how I feel. I'm really optimistic of Joe Douglas's vision, and I know it's a tough time to be a Jets fan right now. It's dark times, but I think Joe Douglas really understands that this team needs to be blown up from the inside out. I think a fire sale is about to happen. I'm about to cover all of that. So yeah, I just want to talk about the rookies and how I'm really impressed by them. Leave a comment down below what you guys thought of the video and any rookies you guys really loved watching. And yeah, like I said, I just want to talk to you guys my opinion on all these rookie players, because it's really getting me excited. Obviously, there's not a lot of things to get excited about for this Jets football team. I'm trying to find any type of lightness in this darkness times as a Jets fan. So yeah, that does it for this video. Leave a comment down below what you guys thought of it. Hit that like button and make sure you use my code on manscaped.com, Jets, if you guys want 20% off. They have great products, and make sure you use my code JETS. I'll leave it down below in the description. That does it for this video. Let me know in the comments, and I'll catch you guys in my next one. Let's go, Jets. Peace.